Broadcasting from Silicon Valley, California, this is Conversations with Jennylyn.
You are watching Conversations with Jennylyn, and as you can see today, I am wearing a hat. That's because I am trying to keep up with my 91-year-old guest who rocks, and as long as I've known her, she has been a trendsetter, a trailblazer, name it, and Susan has done it. She is one of my mentors, and I credit what I'm doing today in television on a large scale to her. Suzanne Barnett has been a veteran television producer at KMVT for over 25 years. For those of you who know Donna Mills, she's even been on the Donna Mills show. And today, she is on Conversations with Jennylyn, 2 days after she celebrated her 91st birthday. And I feel so privileged to welcome Suzanne to my show. Suzanne, welcome.
Jennylyn, this is such an event for me. It really is. And I just cannot thank you enough for letting us do this.
Well, I feel so blessed because I know you said you are done with television. And the fact that I was able to talk you into this tells me I haven't lost my power to convince Suzanne to make another television appearance. And I'm hoping it will be a memorable one for you, Suzanne.
Thank you, Jenny. I think it's so interesting that I started my whole life wanting to be on, well, they didn't have television, but being born right after the Depression, the 1929 Depression, and now we're in the COVID. And I just feel that my life has been very lucky, and I do appreciate everything, not everything, of course, but the fact that I have been able to do in these years what I've really wanted to do. And guess what? I found out that it isn't fame and fortune. It really isn't. I always thought it was, but going through this COVID, I realized that my relationships have been the most important thing, really, that it's been so satisfying. And I've been in my apartment now for 7 months. And I'm so grateful that I live at the Forum, where we've been so taken care of. And then to do this with you has been so interesting, because I really have been a bit nervous about it, because I'm so used to not being the interviewee, right?
I know that. It's fun watching you in the hot seat. Suzanne, I've always wanted to do a television interview with you. And there's so many things in our lives we take for granted. I always thought, I can interview Suzanne at any time. We produce shows at the same television station. But you know what? Life does not wait for us. And what I am learning is you don't take anything for granted, because anything and everything could disappear in a second. If someone would have told me that I'd be locked up in my home, and when I leave, I have to cover up the majority of my face with a piece of fabric or paper, I would think that was the funniest comedy I'd heard. But that's our life now. And so the fact that although you're 91, I still have the privilege of doing this interview. For me, is huge. I know that you won an award last year at KMVT for being the longest producing producer and host at the station. Am I correct?
I think so, yes. Yeah. But it's so interesting in 91 years that I have such gratitude for everything. And I think that as difficult as what everybody's been going through, I think it's so interesting how we get through it, really. And I just can't believe that, first of all, I never believed that I could be this old. And then to have been able to, well, first of all, I was so lucky. I was on the Donna Reed show in 1962. I don't know if people remember her or not, but I just was so bitten by the acting bug. And then to think that I would be able to have my own TV show. And I think I assume that you being a producer, that we have both been so fortunate to have to meet these other people and to be able to interview them. And it's just such a gift, don't you think?
It is. It's an absolute gift and a privilege when I look back at the people that have taken time to allow me to interview them. I think what a privileged person I am. I always try to see the best in everyone. So I've interviewed a lot of people and I've really enjoyed them all. I know that you have interviewed a lot more than I. So tell me about you, Suzanne. Tell me about the years of interviewing people and which ones made the most impact. And you don't have to name them, but why? And, have you regretted having anyone on your show?
I really haven't, but I think one of the really fascinating things that I've gone through, I started out just thinking that I could only just do a couple of things because I'm an artist and I have painted shoes and my clothes and stuff. And I just started out thinking that I could only do a demonstration and then of my art, of how I paint shoes and paint clothes. Then I decided that what am I going to do? I can't demonstrate anything else. So decided that I would interview artists. And that's what started the whole thing. That I didn't have to just interview artists. I could interview anybody that I wanted to, that I never believed that that would happen. And I think one of the most fascinating people I interviewed was this Russian psychic. And he showed how he can change brains and how he can make, he could get rid of cancer. And so I had quite a show with him.
He could do what? He could remove cancer? He did?
Yeah. So he said.
Oh,
and he finally had to leave the United States. It was a very exciting experience to have interviewed him. And he was so grateful that I did that. He said that he could help me. And I said, no, I don't want you to do that. And he said that he could uh, helped me with my lungs. I really damaged my lungs because I was a smoker.
Oh, you were.
Oh yeah, I smoked a lot. And just to help other people, I just wish that they, you know, would, if they had a habit like that, to be able to get over it. So I am so lucky. And I want to say one thing. I have 2 children, and I have a brother, a baby brother, Bill. And if it wasn't for Bill, I wouldn't be alive. He was my first baby, and he has saved my life for years. He really has. And I just am I'm so fortunate in my life, because what I've said this before, that I think what has kept me going was the fact that I have such strong feelings towards my friends and the relatives that has kept me going, really. How do you feel about that?
I agree with you. I make this comment frequently to illustrate my point, which is I've never seen a hearse pulling a U-Haul of stuff, because when life ends, that stuff is stuff. But if you're a good person and if you're a great friend, because I believe in order to have great friends, you have to be a good friend.
Right,
At the end of the journey, those people will be there. They will be there to send you off. They will be there to hold your hand. They will be there to help you if you need help toward the end. But at the end of the day, it is about friends and family. And so I know a few people who tell me they have no friends. I cannot relate to that. I can't tell them that's because you're not a good friend, because I don't know them well enough. But to me, no man is an island, and we need each other. And you know me, Suzanne, I try to be the best friend and forgiving person that I can be at all times. In fact, someone told me yesterday, you are too forgiving. And I was thinking about that. And I'm like, am I too forgiving? I don't think so. I think that I'm capable of compassion, forgiveness, and love in a way most people can't. And I can only credit that to my spiritual development and growth. And you are one of my special friends. You've always been there beside me from the moment we met. We just clicked.
I know. And we are both drama queens, right?
Do you think I'm a drama? I guess I could say that there, because drama somehow seems to find me. But I think it's because we have an open spirit. We are open, we don't live in cages. And I will never change that part of myself. I don't know about you. How do you feel about that?
About being a drama queen?
No, about being an open person, like you're open, you don't
Oh,
have too many judgments about things.
well, I try not to, but I realize that being really alone for the last 7 months has, I just focus on things that I never really thought that much about. And I realize that uh, we need to be forgiving. We need to uh, extend whatever we can to other people, to our loved ones. Uh, I think that really makes me feel so good, that I've been so fortunate to have my children, my grandchildren, and especially my brother. I just don't know what I would do without him, because I'm 13 years older, and this is a hot story, okay? When I was
I like
12,
your hot stories. Go for it.
okay, when I was 12 years old, my mother gave my dolls away. And they were so precious to me. And she said that I was too old to have dolls. But guess what? The next year, when I was 13, Bill was born, and he was my first baby.
He was your human
So,
doll.
yeah, he was really my first, like my first baby. And then when my second husband died, Bill became the big brother, and I don't move without him, really. So I just give him so much credit, and he doesn't really believe it, but I just have become so grateful to be 91. And I was upset when I was 30 because I was too vain. And it doesn't matter. I really always wanted to be uh, really attractive physically, but that's not where it's at. It really isn't, is it? I mean, you are so gorgeous. I've always said that about you, but you, no, really, but you need to, and you have, Jennylyn, develop other things because people are attracted to attractive people, but that's not where it's at. It's what's inside, right?
Thank you. I agree. You're preaching to the choir. Now, Suzanne, you've been blessed with 91 years of life.
Yeah.
What is the most important lesson that you are realizing or that you have learned over the 91 years that you want to share with us?
Oh God. Well, I think that gratitude, I have, I just realized that without the other things in my life, like my friends and my family, that without them, I just don't think I could have gone on, really. The fact that I had the courage to do some of the things that I did, like moving from my house of 57 years, having different values. And my values are so different now. And I just, TV has really been such a joy. And this, I never thought I wanted to be on TV anymore, to do my TV because I'm so old and wrinkled and stuff. Really.
Stop. Will you stop? And I must share this with our viewers. Suzanne single-handedly navigated the Zoom possibility. She installed her own Zoom because, like all of us, she's on lockdown. And because of her age, she has to be even more careful about being on lockdown. And she's navigated herself around the whole process of installing Zoom, using the link I sent her, sitting across from me looking fabulous, and doing this wonderful interview. And this is why I love her, because she has always had a can-do attitude. And that's how I am. And I really admire people who have open minds and can do, because we can do a lot more than we give ourselves credit for when we take fear out of the equation. Suzanne, you have lived a charmed life. Share some of it with us. I think it's helped to keep you looking young and hot at 91.
Well, that's a matter of opinion. And what's so interesting is that people are so into their own selves. And it's great if you can, you know, have, say, I love the word fame and fortune, but there's so much more to it. And I think that I especially am so fortunate to have been so safe all these months from the COVID virus. Yeah. So as difficult as it may be to be quarantined, but when you look at the whole picture, what it's about is staying alive. Yeah.
And you,
Whatever way we could do it. And also to help, if we can help other people or even one person, that's what life is about for me, really. And to be positive. Yeah. I think that's, we have a choice. And it's so interesting that I'm doing this thing thanks to you, because TV has just really been probably one of the funnest, most satisfying experience. Yeah. And, how it has developed and how I've made new friends, not with everybody, but here I never would have met you, Jenny. So how lucky can I be for that?
listen to you. That's exactly my sentiment. Now, Suzanne, you have produced television for almost 30 years. Am I correct?
Yeah. I think it's been 28 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's already been 10 for me. My goodness, where does time go when you're having fun? Just
Yeah.
like you, I am very passionate about it.
And I think that's so sad. We are so fortunate that we have had this experience. And think of all the years ahead of you, Jenny, that you have learned how to do all this technical thing yourself. Really, I just am amazed.
Thank you. I always tell myself if someone else can do it, there is no reason why I can't. And in the past, you had to go and sign up for a class. You had to go take a class to learn a lot of stuff. But now there's so many tutorials at our fingertips. All you have to do is Google it and you can do just about anything. Do you know that I don't know, tiled my kitchen floor just by watching YouTube? It's amazing what you can do now.
I know.
And so we don't really have excuses when we can't do basic things, except either we're lazy or we're fearful or we're sick. Other than that, I think people can get a lot more done than they realize. So, Suzanne, you have at least another 15 years of life ahead of you. What's on Susan's agenda for the future?
Say that again. I have how many years ahead?
At least another 15.
Oh, gosh.
What's on the agenda for those years?
Well, I just want to keep doing what I'm doing. And I love to shop. And I'm a collector. I love to shop, though, at secondhand stores. I don't like to do retail. Like this gorgeous hat I got like 30 years ago at a show. So I think as long as I can still walk with my little walker and still have my children and grandchildren, and especially Bill brother, that's about all I want, really. Just to be alive. Let's put it that way.
Well, if Bill did not know how much he is loved, I'm going to make sure wherever he is, I find him and that he watches this, because I can hear a lot of love coming through here for Bill. And I think that is really awesome. Did you have someone you can depend on and trust, like you seem to love and trust Bill? And I think we all need a Bill in our lives.
Oh, I'm so lucky. But I also love Bill's wife, too. She's Claudia. She's very special.
Okay.
And as much as I need Bill, I think Bill needs Claudia, too. So I got to give him that,
So,
and that I'm just every single moment. I thank God that I'm alive. I just, even with this problem
COVID,
that we're having, I
COVID,
just still, I've got to see what's going to happen, right?
right. So Suzanne, you are a Bay Area native. Were you born and raised in California?
I was born in Chicago.
Oh, you were
I
born.
was born 1 month before the Great Depression. Yeah,
Wow. So this is similar, is it? What we're going
it is.
through now with COVID?
It is. It
Okay.
is. But we've had so many things happen, and I feel so desperately sorry for the people that have been in the fires. I mean, this world is surreal, isn't it? And it's our uh, duty to be able to survive this.
Mhm. And we
Really,
will, and we will.
of course we will.
So
Yeah.
you moved from Chicago to California, and apart from your television show, you are a phenomenal artist. I have
Oh,
been in your home and seen so much of your art. You have taken glasses that people throw away, and you took the lenses and created a fabulous piece of art with it. I remember walking into your house and looking at it and going, I would never think to do that. How did she think of that? And so many other things. Your stained glass, you paint shoes, you paint clothes. You are just a prolific creator. Where does that come from?
oh, thank you so much. I don't know. It's just so much fun. It was because of the 1989 earthquake is how I started on television, on how to take broken objects and turn them into art pieces. And I demonstrated it. The really fun thing is that I couldn't do without my hot glue gun. And
Yes.
of course, today they have so many fabulous programs on what to do with anything, like you said. All we have to do is go into the internet and we can find out so much, right?
So here's something you never knew. Shortly after we met, and like I said earlier, we connected pronto. But shortly after we met, you got some art and you said to me, Jennylyn, I want you to come over to my house and tell me where you think I should hang this art. I just about fell over. I thought to myself, this person who is highly skilled and artistic needs an opinion from me. I could not believe it. I was so intimidated. I thought, I hope that when I've gone to her house and we've hung this picture and I leave, someone doesn't come in her house and ask her, which freak told you to put that painting there? Because I didn't think I could offer any suggestions or opinions to someone as talented as yourself.
Well, I don't think you're giving yourself enough credit. You're a beautiful, bright, innovative young lady.
I thank you,
Yeah,
Susan. Thank you. I
no,
feel
you are
really
really.
hard for that.
I think that's why we like each other so much. We're so complimentary, right?
Yes, and it's all honest. Everything I say to you about you, it's something about you that has not only impressed me, but others. And I know at the television station where I've been producing my show now, I've been there for over 10 years, you are highly respected.
Oh, thank you.
And I think that respect is earned. And
Well,
so the fact that people respect you means that you have earned that respect.
well, I think this is my swan song for television, and how wonderful to end it, to complete it, to have you interview me. I really am very happy about that. Thank you.
Talk about, sure, you're welcome. I was gonna say, talk about feather in the cap. My hat doesn't have a feather, yours does, but you just put the feather in my cap with that compliment. And I thank you so much for the privilege of doing this. I found out through a friend that you weren't going to produce television anymore. And you don't know this, but I was very sad because I wanted to do your last interview.
Well, boy, isn't this interesting how this happened? And I really appreciate it. And I have been really excited about it, even with all my wrinkles.
Oh, nobody can see any wrinkles. That's in your head. You know, there's something about being the last person to interview someone or the first person. I don't know why it's important, but it really meant a lot to me. And there's also someone who was on my show, Lloyd LaQuesta. He was a Fox 2 News reporter. And after he quit Fox, I was his first television interview. And I was so chuffed that I was the person who got to do the first interview with him. So now there was my first, and now you are my last, because I am the last show you said you are going to do. And if you want to do another one, I would be very willing.
Oh, well, who knows? Maybe I will.
I mean, you still have 15 more years to go.
We shouldn't say it's the last show.
Right.
It's the end, right?
Yes.
We need to keep moving on. Really.
Exactly. We don't know. We don't know everything.
We don't. We're just so fortunate that I have had a really, I would say, dramatic life. And I don't regret anything. I don't. And I think that if people could feel that way, it's a good, I think it's a very positive thing because we can't change anything anyway. So it's just as easy to be positive than negative. But I think that I just am so grateful for the people that I really care about, like you, that I'm so lucky that that's still such a huge part of my life right now. It really is.
Well, thank you, gorgeous. And you know what? On that note, we just ran out of time. But I must ask you, as I ask everyone, before we go, is there anything you want to leave with someone watching this show that I haven't asked you?
I don't think so. I think you've covered it. I really do.
I did.
I'm so proud of you, what you have done with your life and with television, how you have learned all this technical stuff. And you're so beautiful to go along with it. And next time we'll have a contest with our hats.
Okay, you've already won. You've clearly won. But
No.
I think, Suzanne, you always pick the best of everything. You always look perfect and you have your own style. And I love that about you. You don't care what people think. That is your style. And I think it shows your confidence.
Thank you.
And I'm so proud to be your friend. And I'm more proud to have spent this time with you, sharing your story with my viewers. And I hope that more people are encouraged and live their life to the best of their abilities and not put a limit and not conform to the chronological box. Like now I'm 90, I'm supposed to be dying, I'm supposed to be falling over. If we were not in COVID, you and I would be going to the disco to celebrate your birthday.
Yes, we would. We would.
So
Au revoir. Till the next time.
till the next time.
Yeah.
And I thank you so much, my beautiful friend.
I thank you. You're so welcome.
And I thank you for watching Conversations with Jennylyn. When a conversation is all you need to be inspired, and who wouldn't inspire you 91 years old, looking like 71. And I will see you next time. Thank you.